Hello, well, welcome back to Riyadh, where we have had a 24 hours like no other, in quite frankly, a sport like no other. Yesterday, just before the press conference, we got the news that Daniel Dubois was ill. It was touch and go as to whether or not he would be able to fight. He's unable to fight, he's been pulled out, and in steps late replacement, a man many are calling the most avoided heavyweight in the world, Martin Bakole. One thing's for sure, Joe Parker is not avoiding anyone because he said, bring me Bakole. So that is your co-main event tomorrow evening. Martin Bakole, Joe Parker, WBO Interim Heavyweight Championship. Fantastic heavyweight fight. And of course the main event, as we know, Artur Beterbiev Dmitry Bivol. Not a lot of words exchanged between these guys. But, listen, they let their fists do the talking. And their fists did an awful lot of talking back in October. Today, they weigh in and they face off for the final time before tomorrow night. And Martin Bakole, by the way, in our co-main event, he's up in the air as we speak. He starts off in Congo, he's going to Ethiopia, and then he lands in Riyadh at about 2 a.m. He won't even see Joe Parker before they meet in the ring. What a 24 hours. Let's get everyone weighed in. Well, the final beat before we reach the last crescendo tomorrow evening will be today's weigh-in. These fighters will face off for the final time they will meet. And look at this orchestra that I have with me. Look at this at the end. We've got Mr. Johnny Nelson. How are you, sir?
I peer pressured taking on my jumper off because you had a joke ready for me.
Yes, you killed my intro. You had this jumper on. I was going to introduce him as a cricketer, but killed that. Dave, great to see you. How are you?
How are you, mate? Good, mate. Buzzing to be here.
Good. And the stars are very much in town. I'm hearing Usyk's here, AJ's here, Crawford, all these guys, but no bigger star than this man, Andy Clark. How are you?
I think that's fair, actually. I think that's fair. No, I'm good, thanks. I'm good, thanks. That's the longest walk and talk on that intro in history. That's
went on a bit.
That's a serious effort.
Yeah, it's probably a bit too much. Fellas, what are we thinking? What are 24 hours? Andy, I'll start with you. Obviously, you know, Beterbiev Bivol, incredible. That's the main event. We'll talk about that. But this new fight has emerged between Joe Parker and Martin Bakole.
It has, and last night as we were on air with the stream, it was just this classic, brilliant boxing chaos just unfolding behind the scenes, not quite in front of our eyes. And just after we'd finished, we got conflicting reports still about what was happening. Then all of a sudden the announcement was made, and it's Martin Bakole, and then we hear that he's in Congo and he has to get over here, and he's landing probably sometime tonight, but no one really knows. And what kind of shape is he in? Again, conflicting reports. Some people saying he's been training for the last 4 months intensively. Others saying that he's not done any training.
He's been sparring for 4 months.
It's just brilliant. It's just brilliant.
He's probably been knocking everyone out in sparring for 4 months, if you ask Billy Nelson.
It's just fantastic. You don't get this in other sports, but the speed with which they're able to make the replacement with the resources they have just means that whatever happens during fight week in Riyadh season, it will get sorted out. It will get saved.
One thing he's done, he's turned it around. You know, you look at the Stevenson fight, Josh Padley's been brought in. You look at the chief supporting bout, that he's managed to not just top that. Josh Padley was famous for 2 hours, and then he not just topped that, he's topped it even with the scandal of it being Bakole. So he's managed to save the show, keep it up there, top draw, top level, and he's got the fans talking, you know, disputing. Isn't he? Can Bakole come over here? And he will shock the world if he managed to do that. If he managed to win Josie Parker, what a story is that? What a story.
Listen, we send our best wishes to Daniel Dubois. We know he's not very well. Hopefully we see him again very soon. You know, no one wants to see him pull out of this fight. But Dave, what about Joe Parker here? People are talking about Bakole. He's stepped up. Joe Parker, he's suddenly got to fight Bakole. He asked for this as well, by the way.
And do you know what? His attitude and the mentality, it's a throwback. This is what I want to see in boxing, because for too long fighters and the teams are too protective over the fighters, and that's when they've got 10-12 weeks notice. On 2 days notice to jump in with the guy that is without a doubt the most avoided heavyweight there is. I know everybody likes to say they're the most avoided fighter out there, but in the heavyweight division, nobody, it's like Candyman, nobody says his name. You know, they don't say it once, they're not going to say it 5 times. They definitely don't want to mention Bakole's name. For Bakole to be given as an option, and for Andy Lee and for Joseph Parker's reaction when he knew he was fighting Bakole, he was excited. Real fighter, a real throwback fight. If you look at the fight he's had lately, you know, the performance that he's had lately, to the level, and going in there knowing that he's probably the underdog, but he's gone in there, ripped up the script. It's an old school mentality, and it continues with this. And it's fantastic for the sport, because when we see the fighters at the top taking big challenges like that, fighting everybody, it's going to filter down. So when you get down to the lower level fighters and you get these prospects that have had 10 fights, 12 fights, and you don't want to fight anybody, they're going to have no excuse, because these guys are risking it all on 48 hours notice. It's fantastic for the sport.
Listen, it is fantastic. What do you think we can expect? Because what kind of shape is Bakole going to be in? That's one question. As Andy mentioned, conflicting reports about how much he's been in the gym. What can he bring at 48 hours notice?
I think Bakole will be gym fit, without a doubt. Looking at the pictures, him at the airport, cheeks are big, still got a bit of a tummy on him, but he's always had that rotund shape about him. I mirror his style to that of George Foreman. It's like he's not very physically active, because he's just on his feet, solid on his feet, but let his shot go. His shots are subtly persistent, but subtly damaging. He's got loose hands, stands up tall, he's trying to walk through you. He can be hit easy, even when he's on form, but he's consistent, persistent. And Joseph Parker needs to either think to himself, I drag this boy out to second half of the fight, or use that weight that I prepared for Daniel with, and try and blast him.
Well, that's just it. I'm curious to see what Parker's going to look like on the scales. We're hearing about how he's going to be a career heavy. I think you've heard the actual kind of weight he's going to come in at as well, Andy. I guess he's going to need all of that, because Martin Bakole, when he weighs in, he won't be here tonight, he'll be north of 300 pounds.
You'd think so. He was 21 stone 5 against Takam, so we do know that he carries weight well.
Well, let's head over to this weigh-in process with Thomas Triver.
Jake. This great event is being brought to you by Riyadh Season and the General Entertainment Authority, GIA, with Frank Warren for Queensberry Promotions, Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing, Bob Arum for Top Rank Incorporated, Gold Star Promotions, Oscar De La Hoya's, Golden Boy Promotions, Boxer, World of Boxing, Warriors Boxing, and Sella. Along with their great sponsors: Saudi Tourism Authority, Saudi National Bank, STC, Dr. Suleiman El Habib Medical Group, Saudi Airlines, New Muraba Development Company, Tawuniya, Hunger Station, Lucid Motors, and Altan Feedy. A big thanks to those great sponsors. It will be shown worldwide and in the UK on DAZN, and also in the UK on TNT Sports Box Office and Sky Sports Box Office. Let's now get the weigh-in process started. Our first two fighters will be competing tomorrow in a scheduled 6-round super featherweight contest. First, we will welcome a native of Chinandega, Nicaragua, now fighting out of Bratislava, Slovakia. He is a veteran of 53 professional bouts. Let's welcome Angel El Cojete Gomez.
Well, here comes Angel Gomez, El Cojete. He's been taking it all in this week. He had a public workout. His name has been up in lights like never before.
And now let's welcome Undefeated with 2 victories. He hails from right here, Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Here is mighty Mohammed Alaka.
And here's his opponent, mighty Mohammed Alaka. Fight number 3 for him. Joe Gallagher by his side as well. Great to see Joe here and in form. number 3 for Mohamed Alaka.
We will first welcome to the scale, Angel Gomez. .132.1 for Angel El Cogente Gomez. Now to the scale, Mohamed Alaka. .134.1 for mighty Mohamed Alaka.
Mohamed Alaka has been getting tips from the legendary Roberto Duran in the gym.
A scheduled 6-round super featherweight contest.
No doubt those tips would have helped him, Andy.
How can it not, being around somebody like that? You look at the shape that they're both in here, though. Look at Gomez. He's loving this, isn't he? He's loved it all week, and he absolutely should, because these are the days of your life. If you're a fighter, whatever side of the card you're on, and he's not come here to play games, Angel Gomez. You can see that. So Alaka, I think, will get a test tomorrow night.
Roberto Duran also not here to play games. He's been around all week. Came to the press conference, got a wonderful ovation from the press and the crowd in attendance, and gets a quick photo with Joe Gallagher. Let's head back to Thomas Triber.
Well, Mohamed, fight card of the century in your home country, and you're one of the fights opening the show. Any nerves for you coming into this fight?
No nerves. One night to go, less than 24 hours to go, and I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to putting on a show for my fans, and yeah.
You got the great Joe Gallagher working your corner. Had a chance, too, to work with Roberto Duran during this fight camp. What was that like?
Yeah, I learned a lot. I can show you Saturday night what I've learned.
You've got a lot of experienced opponent in front of you on Saturday. What do you want to show in this fight?
Just a skillful performance, hopefully, yeah.
Good luck, Mohamed.
Thank you.
Our next 2 fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 6-round welterweight contest. We will first welcome from Moana para Brazil, a veteran of 26 professional bouts. Let's welcome Jonatas de Oliveira.
Well, here is the 29-year-old from Brazil, fight number 27. He will be taking on Ziyad Almayouf tomorrow evening.
And now let's welcome undefeated with 6 wins, 1 draw, 1 win coming by way of knockout. He hails from right here, Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Here is Ziyad Zizo Almayouf.
Well, never fear, because Zizo is here. He has carried himself like a bit of a superhero this week. At the public workout, he had the Saudi flag
First, we welcome
with him.
to the scale, Jonatas de Oliveira.
And he did a few superhero type poses, did Ziyad Almayouf. Spoke very passionately at the press conference as well. Let's have a look at his opponent on the scales.
141.8 for Jonatas de Oliveira. Now to the scale, Ziyad Almayouf. 143.2 for Ziyad Zizo Almayouf.
Great shape on Ziyad Almayouf, coming off that draw in his last fight. We'll be looking to get back to winning ways. You can see draped
Once
in the
again,
Saudi
ladies and
flag.
gentlemen, these 2 competing tomorrow in a scheduled 6-round welterweight contest.
Oliveira, the opponent, Dave, has got some swag though, hasn't he? I've seen him around the last couple of days, and the way he walked onto that stage and the way he's standing there now looking at Almayouf again, he is not here to make up the numbers.
No, and you'd expect that, because look at where he is. You know, it's an opportunity for not only the home fighters to impress, but these guys that are coming in as opponents, even if they don't win the fight, they come in, show a bit of character, put on a great fight and test the prospect, they're going to be brought up to the next prospect there. So, you know, they've got everything to gain as well.
Zizou didn't get the result you wanted last time around, but you went to Liverpool for this training camp. Buddy McGirt said you got the best sparring of your career. What kind of fighter are we going to see on Saturday?
Listen, the journey dictates the result, but the result does not dictate the journey. And I'm just enjoying the camp, enjoying the journey, and I want to gift my fight, and I want to gift my win, God willing, to the Saudis and to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for Saudi Founding Day, February 23rd.
How does it feel to be back here fighting one more time?
Long may it continue. You know, when you talk about the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and boxing, you have to talk about Zizou. So I'm here to stay.
Good luck, Zizou.
Thank you, Chris.
Our next two fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 12-round contest, and it'll be for the WBO Interim Light Heavyweight Championship of the World. We will first welcome the challenger from Liverpool, England. He brings a professional record of 30 wins, 2 defeats, 22 of those 30 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the former Ring Magazine champion and the former WBA super middleweight champion of the world, Callum Moongo Smith.
Well, here comes Callum Smith, former world super middleweight champion, former Ring Magazine super middleweight champion. He's got the credentials. He wants to become a two-weight world champion. A big win over Buatsi on Saturday. He's on his way.
We welcome the defending champion from London, England, a 2016 Olympic bronze medalist, now undefeated as a professional with 19 wins, 13 of those 19 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the reigning and defending WBO Interim Light Heavyweight Champion of the World, Joshua Buatsi.
Well, here is the opponent, Joshua Buatsi. He is the reigning and defending WBO Interim Light Heavyweight Champion, but he's an interim champion who doesn't really want that belt. He wants the full title.
Callum Smith. $174.1 for Callum Moongo Smith.
Callum Smith looks absolutely huge.
Now to the scale, the defending
How did he do
champion,
super
Joshua
middleweight?
Buatsi. 175 pounds for Joshua Buatsi.
So Buatsi's hit the weight absolutely on the chin, and
Once
these two
again, ladies and gentlemen,
both
these
in
two
terrific
competing
shape.
tomorrow in a scheduled 12-round contest for the WBO Interim Light Heavyweight Championship of the World.
Just watching Buatsi go onto the stage, though, yet to see Virgil Hunter this week around any of these events.
Yeah, that as a coach, that's a strange one. I mean, I get it sometimes, press conference, they might not turn up, but weighing, the coach is always there, so that is a strange one for me.
Smith looks like he filled out pretty well as well. Whereas Buatsi doesn't really look much different after, as the days rolled on.
Well, I think we're going to hear very shortly from Callum Smith first, who is the challenger.
One of the best light heavyweights in the world today. Your only loss is to the cream of the crop, Canelo Alvarez and Artur Beterbiev. What do you say to those who believe for Buatsi this could be the passing of the torch moment?
Tune in tomorrow night and you'll see.
Are you impressed with what you've seen from Buatsi? Is he on your level?
Yeah, he's a good fighter, but I've said all along I believe I'm better and I get the chance to show that.
I know in your past training camps, specifically against Canelo Alvarez, you felt you weren't at your best. Will you be at your best tomorrow night?
Yeah, most definitely.
And what do you have to do to win?
Just be me, turn up, perform the way I know I can, and I'm good enough to get the job done.
Good luck, Callum. Let's send it over to Chris.
Well, Joshua, the talk is almost over, almost time to get into the ring. How are you feeling going into this fight?
Feeling good. I'm looking forward to it. But you're right, the talk's almost over, so it's time to fight.
You came up alongside Callum Smith for many years, watched him for many years. Did you envision fighting him in the past?
First part of the sentence, not true. Did I envision him? Possibly, but now it's real.
This promotion has been very respectful between you two guys. But what is this fight going to look like in the ring?
I think everyone knows what to expect, so we wait till tomorrow.
Good luck, Joshua.
Thank you.
Our next two fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 12-round contest, and it will be for the vacant WBC Interim Heavyweight Championship of the World. We will first welcome from Bochum, Germany, undefeated with 25 wins, 17 of those 25 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the undefeated former two-time EBU European champion and the #1 ranked contender by the WBC, Agit Kabayel.
Well, here comes Agit Kabayel, former two-time European heavyweight champion. He is an in-form heavyweight, a real success of Riyadh story. Just keeps on winning. Let's see if he can beat the Big Bang on Saturday night.
And now let's welcome, fighting out of Bloomfield, New Jersey, USA, by way of Shenzhou, China, a 2008 Olympic silver medalist, now has a professional record consisting of 27 wins, 2 defeats, 1 draw, 22 of those 27 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the former WBO interim world champion and the #2 ranked contender by the WBC. Here is Zhang Big Bang Zhang.
I'm ready. Saturday. I thank you.
Well, that is the theme tune, and you know who's on their way to the scales or the ring. Zhang Big Bang Zhang.
And we will first welcome to the scale, Agit Kabayel.
Well, Agit Kabayel, I'm keen to know what the size difference is going to be. Two giants, and Zhang usually outweighs his opponent by quite a lot.
£241 for Agit Kabayel.
That's 17 stone 3, exactly what he was against Mahmoudov, a bit heavier than against Sanchez. It's what we expected.
287.5 for Zhang Big Bang Zhang.
287, that's 20.5 stone, so pretty much where he's been his last few fights.
12-round contest. It will be for the vacant WBC Interim Heavyweight Championship of the World.
I'll tell you what, the build-up's been pretty fun. They've been talking about, I'm going to bang you, I'm going to bang you. That was intense up there.
Do you know what? Just looking at Zhang, I actually, seeing his weight there, I actually expect him to be lighter because I've seen him around and he looks, I mean, he's a huge guy, but he just looks slimmer than what he has been in the past.
Zhang does carry the weight well.
Yeah.
For a big guy, he's not a big fat unit. He's a big geezer, and he does carry it well. For a southpaw, the way he moves on the side of him, it makes him unorthodox. I wouldn't say awkward, I'd say unorthodox. Yeah.
It's a fascinating heavyweight fight. WBC Interim Heavyweight Championship on the line. Zhang and Agit Kabayel. I think we're going to hear very shortly from the unbeaten Ajit Kabayel, who joins Todd Grisham.
Ajit Kabayel, you've had 25 professional fights. Where would you rank Zhang amongst your opponents?
Yes, another big challenge wait for me Saturday. I'm ready for the next challenge. Let's go.
We heard yesterday he said he was going to bang you, and then you said you were going to bang him. But can you really stand and trade with somebody who outweighs you as much as he does?
I said this yesterday. Tomorrow we will see. He bang me or I bang him.
One of the two. I know Germany's been waiting for a world heavyweight champion for a long time. Your country's behind you. They think you are the next guy to do it. What's your message to your German fans?
All my German fans, all my Kurdish fans, support me. Inshallah, tomorrow we'll be world champion. Inshallah.
Best of luck. Chris?
Well, Gillet, you were bouncing around here on the stage. After weighing in, you look like you're in a pretty good mood. How are you feeling going into this fight?
称重之后感觉心情很好，现在感觉怎么样？
现在心情更好，因为称重结束之后，然后意味着比赛马上就要来临。
Feel even better after the weigh-in. The show is on.
This guy's a very active guy in the ring, moves around a lot. What's the key for you to tracking him down?
对方的移动很多，那你有什么招呢？
我没有招，我的招就是随着他的招而变。
Oh, I have to be like water, have no key. Everything is my key.
What's your prediction for this fight?
预测一下。
KO, knockout, sleep.
Thanks, Gillet.
Our next two fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 12-round contest, and it will be for the WBC Interim Super Welterweight Championship of the World. We will first welcome the challenger from Khiva, Uzbekistan, a stellar amateur with over 300 victories. He now has a professional record consisting of 10 wins, just 1 defeat, 1 draw. 7 of those 10 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the former WBA Super Welterweight Champion of the World, Israel, the Dream Madrimov.
Well, there are so many tremendous fights on this card, and this is very much one of them. Israel Madrimov, former world champion, in against Virgil Ortiz. Fantastic fight. I almost can't believe it's happening, this one.
This is the one that's kind of the sleeper on the card, the one that people are overlooking, but it could be the fight of the night.
The defending champion from Grand Prairie, Texas, USA. He brings an undefeated record with 22 wins. 21 of those 22 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the reigning and defending WBC Interim Super Welterweight Champion of the World, Virgil Ortiz Jr.
I totally agree with what Matt just said. This is such a good fight. He had 12 hard rounds against Suhai Bohachuk last time out, Ortiz, and he needed them. He needed that seasoning at super welter, and he got
it.
it.
Scale, the challenger, Israel Madrimov. $152.1 for the challenger, Israel, the Dream Madrimov.
Quite interesting that he made the weight that easily. He's nearly 2 pounds underneath there.
Virgil Ortiz Jr. $153.1 for the defending champion, Virgil Ortiz Jr.
Of course, Virgil Ortiz makes weight as well in his new weight division that he campaigns in. He's up at 154 now. Tremendous fight, this one, Johnny.
This one will be one of those classic toe-to-toe fights. I believe goes the distance.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, these two competing tomorrow in a scheduled 12-round contest. it will be for the WBC Interim Super Welterweight Championship of the World.
Well, they call Madrimov the dream. He will be hoping he is a nightmare for Virgil Ortiz tomorrow. It's a completely different stylistic matchup to Buatsi, but one that will absolutely deliver.
100%, and you look at the way these two have filled out since they weighed in at lunchtime. I was down there and they looked fine. Everybody looked pretty good actually on the scales today, but it's like someone's just stuck a valve in them and inflated them. And by tomorrow night they'll look even better when they've rehydrated and replenished a little bit more. These are some absolutely prime athletes.
Standing by here with Israel Madrimov, your last fight, a razor-close decision loss to Terence Crawford. How difficult do you expect this fight to be compared to that fight?
Yeah, this fight different, but Virgil is top guy, top fighter, very aggressive fight. I think it's very interesting fight, inshallah.
He has got a lot of hype coming around him. Do you think he is as good as everybody seems to think that he is?
Много хайпа вокруг него. Ты думаешь, он настолько хорош, как о нем говорят?
We are see tomorrow, inshallah.
Okay, there you go. In his last fight, he got dropped a couple of times. You lost a close decision win in your last fight. How aggressive are you going to be in going for a knockout?
Ты проиграл решение последний бой, он упал 2 раза. Насколько агрессивным тебе нужно быть в бою, чтобы выиграть?
First of all, I won't come back belt, inshallah, tomorrow. My mind is only thinking victory.
All right. Well, good luck to you, Israel Madrimov. Over to Chris.
Well, Virgil, you were here back in November for Golden Boys Latino Night. You were excited about getting this kind of opportunity to fight here in Riyadh. How are you feeling now that it's almost here?
I'm ready to go. I'm ready for war. I'm ready for whatever comes tomorrow night, and I'm just ready to get it on.
You've got a full year of fighting in this junior middleweight division under your belt now. How much more comfortable do you feel now than you did when you first started this campaign?
You know what? I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. You know, I feel 100% ready physically, mentally, emotionally, all that stuff. And that's it. We're going to see tomorrow night.
This guy fought a pretty competitive fight against Terence Crawford back in the summer. When you watched that, did you see things in his game that you can take advantage of?
I mean, everyone's going to have some chinks in the armor, you know. I'm not Crawford, so, I mean, different ones can come up for me, and it'll be up to me to expose them.
Your fight against Sergey Buatsi was widely considered the fight of the year in 2024. Do you think this fight has that potential?
It has the potential. It for sure has the potential to steal the show, too.
Good luck, Virgil.
Thank you.
Our next two fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 12-round contest, and it'll be for the WBC Middleweight Championship of the World. Let's first welcome the challenger from Ilford, Essex, England. He is undefeated with 21 wins, 17 of those 21 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the undefeated former EBU European, Commonwealth, and WBC silver champion, and the #1 ranked contender by the WBC. Here is Hamzah Sheeraz.
Well, there is a feeling that since the days of Gennady Golovkin, this middleweight division has been holding out for a hero. Heavy-handed Hamzah Sheeraz may just be that man. He challenges for the world title tomorrow night.
And now let's welcome the defending champion from Elías Piña en la República Dominicana. His professional record, 24 wins, just 1 defeat, 18 of those 24 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the reigning and defending WBC middleweight champion of the world, Carlos El Caballo Bronco Adames.
Well, here comes Carlos Adames, the WBC World Middleweight Champion. The voice that you just heard was that of Derek Chisora, who has joined us on comms here.
Hello. How are you?
We're very well, Derek.
And first to the scale, we welcome the challenger, Hamzah Sheeraz. 159 pounds for the challenger, Hamzah Sheeraz. Now to the scale, the defending champion, Carlos Adames. $158.1 for the defending world champion, Carlos El Caballo Bronco Adames.
Well, both look big and strong. Carlos Adames, I mean, he's worked his way through the weights. He looks like he's perfectly fine at middleweight as the middleweight world champion, Andy.
100%. The weigh-in today was kind of behind closed doors. There was officials and then fighter plus one. But I managed to sneak in for this one. They both look good. Have been tiny at the weight, they're struggling at the weight. It's because he's so tall. Everybody has a hard time believing that it's not almost impossible. It's hard, but it should be hard.
Hey, man.
He looks good.
Hey, man.
Well, there is a meanness in the eyes of Adames, but Sheeraz staring right back, cold. What a fight for the WBC World Middleweight Championship tomorrow night. All part of the last crescendo.
Hamzah, the last year of your career has been outrageous. Congratulations on all your success, but there are some of those out there that feel this fight might be too much too soon. What do you say to them?
Listen, I only have one word to say. Inshallah. See you tomorrow night. Thank you very much.
All right. Hamzah Sheeraz.
Carlos, you've had a big smile on your face all week long. One of the happiest guys I've seen to be here. You said you're going to knock this guy out. You said you're going to decapitate him. Why are you so confident coming into this fight?
Tú tienes la semana entera sonriendo, súper feliz. Tú has dicho que lo va a decapitar, que lo va a noquear. ¿Por qué tú estás tan confiado?
Por mi trabajo, por mi forma de pelear, por mi forma de brindarle espectáculo al público, por el tipo de peleador que soy, yo pienso que será un peleador fácil para mí.
I think he will be an easy fighter for me because of my hard work, my work ethic, my ability, all my camp process.
It's a big, tall guy across from you. What's going to be the key to knocking him out?
Es un tigre alto y grande. ¿Cuál es la clave para noquearlo?
Ya eso lo repetí anterior, los cocos son más altos y los tumbamos, a él también.
I already said this before. Coconuts are higher and we still take them down, so I'll do the same to him.
He's got the size. You've got the experience. You've fought a lot of good guys in your career. Can that experience be an advantage?
Él tiene el tamaño, pero tú tienes la experiencia. Tú has peleado con muchos buenos peleadores. Esa experiencia es una ventaja para ti.
Exacto, esa es mi ventaja, esa es mi clave. Tener esa experiencia, saber que enfrenté grandes peleadores de grande nombre, grandes rivales y no han podido vencerme. No creo que él pueda vencerme.
Yeah, my experience is my advantage. Knowing that I faced big fighters, big names, that's the key for me to win.
Good luck, Carlos.
Thank you.
Well, it's been pretty...
Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow it will be a battle of the undefeated 12 rounds scheduled for the WBC Lightweight Championship of the World. We will welcome first the challenger, fighting out of Doncaster, Yorkshire, England, undefeated with 15 wins, 4 wins, coming by way of knockout. Here is the highly ranked and undefeated challenger, Josh Padley.
Well, at about 6 o'clock on Tuesday evening, Josh Padley was in a loft fitting a bit of solar paneling. He is an electrician as well as an unbeaten boxer. And if he can spark out Shakur Stevenson, what a story!
And now let's welcome the defending champion, fighting out of Brick City, Newark, New Jersey, USA. A 2016 Olympic silver medalist, now undefeated with 22 wins, 10 of those 22 wins coming by way of knockout. He is a 3-weight world champion, and tomorrow the reigning and defending WBC lightweight champion of the world, Shakur Stevenson.
It's a hell of a task that Josh Padley has got. He won't be under any illusions about this, because this guy, a 3-weight world champion, truly believes he is the best fighter on this card, and as years pass, he may well prove to be correct.
134 pounds for the undefeated challenger, Josh Padley. Now to the scale, the undefeated defending champion, Shakur Stevenson. $134.1 for the defending world champion, Shakur Stevenson.
Well, Johnny, as you said, this will be the shock of all shocks if Josh Padley pulls this one off.
You know what, Josh Padley, coming from Doncaster, he was willing to be sat at home watching this with his mate. Now he's centre stage. What an opportunity.
It's a real-life Rocky story.
It is, but this is interesting because Stevenson is trying to put some fear in him here. He's heard the stories about him being in a loft at 6 o'clock and driving his van to Leeds to get a check weight and then going to the opticians. But right here, right now, Matt, Stevenson is giving it to Padley and letting him know this is the big time.
He's letting him know you're on a different level here. This is a different stage to anything you've ever seen before.
Well, a little bit of a shove there,
and
a little bit of a flashpoint.
When he steps away, Josh Padley, will the realisation that this is another level hit him?
I'll tell you what,
I mean, he's enjoying it up there, but you know, this is another level.
I love the way he conducted himself though as well. Against Mark Chamberlain, he wasn't supposed to win. He went there, Wembley Stadium, and he upset Mark Chamberlain.
All right, here he is, Rocky Balboa himself, about to take on Apollo Creed. Take us back 2 days ago, to those who haven't heard, when you got the call and they said, do you want to fight Shakur Stevenson?
Yeah, it's what dreams are made of. Obviously, this is what you're getting for boxing for. World title shot, pinnacle of the sport. I'm going to grab it with both hands.
It's one thing to accept a fight against Shakur, another thing to beat him. How do you knock off one of the pound-for-pound best?
Tune in Saturday night to see it.
Hey, I know there's a lot of people in your hometown who are putting 100 quid on you to win 25,000. What's your message to those that believe in you, the ultimate underdog?
They backed me last time, and we took the bookies to the bank, and we're going to do it again.
All right, well, good luck to you. Chris, over to you.
Well, Shakur, a little back and forth there between you and Josh Padley at the weigh-in. What was your message to him there?
I told him I'm going to beat his ass. It's a lot of energy going on there. He got a lot of energy, so let's settle it in the ring.
It's been a long week for you. I mean, how often during this week did you wonder if you were going to be able to fight at all?
It was a couple of times, but, you know, I stayed focused. I stayed locked in. Opponent switches don't do nothing for me, but, you know, I'm going to shine. I'm coming to shine tomorrow, and tomorrow's my time.
You were preparing for a fight against Floyd Schofield. You get a fighter that fights a very different style than Floyd Schofield. How difficult do you think it's going to be for you to figure him out?
I already told y'all once, I was amateur before, so in the amateurs, you fight any and everybody on different days. This is nothing new for me. I've been here before. It's showtime. Let's do it.
You're a 3-division world champion, the reigning WBC world champion at 135. But last year, as you've said, was a challenging year for you. Is this the kind of fight where you can remind people how great you are?
I promise I'm going to remind them tomorrow. Tomorrow's my time. I'm coming to have fun, and I'm putting belt to ass.
Good luck, Shakur.
Well, he's got big plans with his belt. Let's see if he can retain his belt. Of course, the WBC World Lightweight Championship on the line tomorrow night for Shakur Stevenson. Josh Padley is ranked in the top 15, so it's not like he's come out of nowhere. He's in the rankings, and he's earned his shot by beating Mark Chamberlain.
Ladies and gentlemen, our co-main event tomorrow, it is scheduled for 12 rounds in the heavyweight division. It will be Martin Bakole taking on from South Auckland, New Zealand. His professional record, 35 wins, 3 defeats, 23 of those 35 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the former WBO heavyweight world champion and the current WBO interim heavyweight champion of the world, Lupe Soliai, Na'auli Ale Maliatoa, a.k.a. Joseph Parker.
Well, what a 24 hours it has been for big Joseph Parker. He was supposed to fight Daniel Dubois, who unfortunately had to be withdrawn from the fight. There was a scramble for opponents. One of the names that was mentioned was one of the most avoided heavyweights in the world, Martin Bakole. Joseph Parker said, "Bring me Bakole."
He's not bothered. He's genuinely not bothered. You could see it on his face when he was caught in real time having the news broken to him. He's trained well. Everything has gone right. He just wants to fight.
£267 for Joseph Parker.
Stone won. His target weight was 120 kilos, which is 264, so he's come in 267. That's exactly where they wanted him to be. His previous heaviest is 255, so he's 12 pounds over that. That is plenty, but you can see where it's gone. He hasn't, well, he has eaten his way up there in a way, but it's muscle, isn't it? He's solid.
It's a career heavy Joe Parker as he faces off with Frank Warren for a bit of fun. Oh, a bit of a flashpoint there as Frank's giving him a shove. I'll tell you what though, he's going to need all of that 267 pounds because Martin Bakole is going to come in as big as a house tomorrow night.
He'll be north for 300, won't he? Definitely.
Martin Bakole still in the air. We understand he lands at around 2 a.m. and under 24 hours later, there'll be the fight.
Well, Joe, I can't imagine you've ever weighed in by yourself before, especially not for a fight of this magnitude. What have the last 24 hours been like for you?
You know what? It's been amazing. I mean, to Daniel Dubois, I hope he gets better soon. To Martin Bakole, thank you for taking this fight on short notice. And my team for making this happen. His Excellency, Turkey Al-Sheikh, Spencer Brown, Andy David, and it's great to have the Deputy Prime Minister of New Zealand here to show support as well, and my whole team. But it's been crazy. And I'd like to thank Martin Bakole for taking this fight. And I'm looking forward to being in the ring with him tomorrow and going to work.
I think I was among the people, a lot of people that were shocked that you said yes to Martin Bakole, who has emerged as something of a boogeyman in the heavyweight division. Did you have any hesitation about taking this fight?
I wanted this fight. I wanted this fight because I want to challenge myself, and Martin Bakole's right up there. Bring him on.
He's a different type of fighter than Daniel Dubois. You've only had a couple of days to work on the game plan. How much of it changes when it's Martin Bakole across from you and not Daniel Dubois?
There's a few changes that we've worked on last night, spoken about it today, and it's all going to come together tomorrow.
Good luck, Joseph.
Thank you.
Great attitude, Joe Parker.
Without a doubt, the great attitude. But I tell you one thing, I'll be giving all the heavyweights in the top 10, doing them a massive favour dealing with Martin Bakole, because yes, he's a bogeyman. Yes, you know, Bacole's coming in at a disadvantage. This is kind of an indirect way of getting him out of the way. But Bacole's got different plans. He says he's going to shock the world. And I'm just saying, let your imagination run away with itself. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if he did?
Listen, this is Riyadh. Strange things happen in the heavyweight division in Riyadh and in Riyadh season events. We have seen so much over the last 18 months or so. We could see something like that again, who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Anything could happen. You know, Bakole was probably the most avoided fighter in the heavyweight division. But he gets the phone call, he accepts the challenge, he's on a flight over here. And, you know, depending on what shape he's in, he's going to give Josie Parker fits for, you know, 4 rounds, 5 rounds, 6 rounds. If he's really fit and he's in good shape, you know, he could be the full 12 rounds.
What do we think's going through Joe Parker's head? And I'll ask the fighters here. I don't know if you've ever had this kind of late turnaround where you've suddenly got to prepare for someone else.
Historically, in all of the fight game, if you're the main fighter or you're fighting and your opponent pulls out at the last minute, it's very hard to lift yourself to give the standing the same respect, the same instinct, the same fear and fight that you need to have. And so in this fight here, it's very different, because even though Josie Parker knows he's different, even though he knows he's a threat, he's still got to lift himself up and think, right, I've got to get this guy out of the way, because too many careers have been ruined by standards.
But I think because Josie Parker knows Bacole's upset the apple cart a few times recently with Jared Anderson, I don't think he'll be looking past him. I think he will get back up for it.
It's one of those, and listen, we've heard the sparring stories. Every time I tweet something, Billy Nelson is in there in the replies. He's telling the world that Bakole has knocked out, I think, everyone in sparring. It's time to find out if it's the real thing.
It absolutely is, and we're all fascinated to see what he's going to weigh when he eventually does weigh in. As I said earlier, he was 21 stone 5 against Carlos Takam. That wasn't the plan, but he had an injury during camp, which meant that he came in heavier than they wanted him to, and he won that fight in good style. Joseph Parker is better than Carlos Takam. Let's just be absolutely clear about that. So he is a fighter who can carry weight because he has really good mechanics. He gets his feet underneath him, and as Johnny described earlier, he rolls the punches out, economy of effort, and that's how he can move his hands as much as he does. But Parker's crafty, he's experienced. You look at what he did to Deontay Wilder, then Zhang. You look at the size he is. People are talking about how this is difficult for Parker. Make no mistake, this is very hard for Bakole.
And Parker will be in fantastic shape. He was prepared for Daniel Dubois. He's prepared for 12 hard rounds. You know, Bakole won't. It'd be impossible for Bakole to be prepared for 12 rounds because he took it on short notice.
Well, let's head over to the main event. Here is Michael Buffer.
World class and championship boxing for your entertainment like no other. Considered to be, from the top to the bottom, one of the greatest cards, if not the greatest card in the history of the sport. Right here in attendance and on the stage this evening, we've already seen the Hall of Fame, past, present, and future. So ladies and gentlemen, it's all brought to you by Riyadh Season and the General Entertainment Authority, GEA, with Frank Warren for Queensberry Promotions, Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing, Bob Arams, Top Rank Incorporated, Gold Star Promotions, World of Boxing, and Silla, and sponsored by the Saudi Tourism Authority, Saudi National Bank, STC, Dr. Sulaiman Al Habib Medical Group, Saudi Airlines, New Moruba Development Company, Tawunya, Hunger Station, Lucid Motors, and Al Tanfidi. And ladies and gentlemen, as always, special thanks to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud, His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and the chairman of the General Entertainment Authority, His Excellency Turki Al Sheikh. So ladies and gentlemen, it's time to bring the two fighters fighting for the undisputed title to the stage. This is the moment we've been waiting for, the weigh-in and then in 24 hours, the main event. So it'll be live, and all these titles are on the line for the WBA, WBC, WBO, IBF, and IBA, plus the prestigious Ring Magazine Championship belt. This is the rematch the world has been waiting for the Undisputed title. 12 rounds of boxing for the Undisputed Light Heavyweight Championship of the world. First to the stage, the challenger. His record stands at 24 fights, 23 victories, including 12 wins by knockout, and that one defeat. He's looking for revenge. Ladies and gentlemen, the former light heavyweight champion of the world, Dmitry Bivol.
Tremendous ovation here for the former world champion Dmitry Bivol. And it sounds strange, it sounds weird to introduce him as a former world champion, but that's what he is. He wants his revenge, he wants his belt back, and he wants all of Beterbiev's on Saturday night.
And let's bring up his opponent, ladies and gentlemen. His record stands as a perfect one. 21 fights, 21 victories, 20 big wins by knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the reigning, defending, undefeated, undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world, Artur Beterbiev.
Well, here comes Artur Beterbiev, who gets a huge ovation here as well. Undefeated, undisputed. He has been collecting belts since 2017, and in October last year, he added the final piece of the jigsaw. He defeated Dmitry Bivol and became the undisputed king.
On to the scale, ladies and gentlemen. He's in the role of a challenger tomorrow night. The former world champion, Dmitry Bivol. 174.1 pounds for the challenger and former world champion. Next on to the scales, he's the undisputed and undefeated world champion. Once again, the title on the line, all the belts, including the Ring Magazine belt, for undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world. 175 pounds for the undisputed world champion, Artur Beterbiev.
Beterbiev hitting the weight right on the nose. And what we've got here are two stone-cold, pugilistic Jedis. We watched them back in October. We've been watching them during the course of this week, and Matt, it just doesn't get any better than this.
No, two top elite fighters at the very peak, pinnacle of their powers, in the form of their careers, in a rematch, in a fight that had absolutely nothing between them, and I think this will be the same.
It is the best versus the best. It is the brutality of boxing against the beauty of boxing. It is everything that every fight fan wants to see, and it is live tomorrow, the last crescendo.
Press from all over the world. This is how big this fight is. Anybody that's interested in boxing knows how serious this fight is.
It's a serious fight, and Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol are cutting very, very serious figures. Let's hear from Dmitry Bivol first, who joins Todd Grisham on the mic.
Yeah, it is weird. You haven't been the challenger for a title in over a decade. You're coming off the first loss of your career. How differently does that feel to you heading into a fight?
You know, now I'm just focused on the fight. I don't try to feel that there is some difference or something new or something old. I said enough this time, and I'm just focusing on the fight, and I'm looking forward for it.
Yeah, you said you have to do more. What does that mean? What more do you have to do this time?
More, everything more.
everything, just more to win, you know.
Hey, you still got a big crowd here and a lot of support. What's your message to your fans that believe you're going to become undisputed?
Yes, thank you, guys. Спасибо, ребят, за поддержку. Это мои близкие, мои друзья, моя поддержка. Я им очень благодарен. Я всегда чувствую ее.
Спасибо.
Спасибо.
Well, Artur, this is our fourth and final interview, I promise, before this fight starts. You got a lot of fans out here in the crowd tonight. How are you feeling going into this fight?
I'm not bad, thank you. Not bad.
It's only been 133 days since that last fight. That's a fast turnaround, fast comeback for you. Is that a good thing for you?
I hope it's good.
No injuries for you in this training camp. Has that been helpful, not having to deal with any injuries?
Yes, of course it's good when his camp is going well.
The first fight was incredibly competitive. Are you expecting this fight to look the same?
I hope this fight is going to be better than first fight.
In what way?
We'll see.
You said you can do a lot of things better in this rematch. What's one thing that you know that you can do better?
Boxing. I try to do boxing. Good boxing, you know.
Good luck, Artur.
Thank you.
Well, those are the final words from Artur Beterbiev. There weren't many of them, as we expect, Andy. I mean, fair play, Chris Mannix, but listen, he lets his fist do the talking, doesn't he, Matt?
He does. I mean, Chris Mannix asked him there, what's one thing you can do better? And I was just thinking, I wonder, the way Bivol was so good at getting off the ropes, I wonder, is he thinking, I've got to try and keep him there longer, mate? I would imagine that's something they've worked on.
Well, listen, rounds 10, 11, 12, they were
13.
very much... Yeah.
We're starting off at 13. These guys know exactly what the other one has to offer, what the threats are. Bivol will use movement and pace to bring it up and down, but make sure it's one step higher than Beterbiev's. Beterbiev knows that. He knows it's going to be so intense because the fight was close enough in the first place.
And if we're talking about Bivol's got to do more, surely that means he's got to take more risks. Surely that's a good thing for Artur Beterbiev, Andy.
It absolutely is, but I do believe that he will, because when you've got somebody at Beterbiev's age, we talked this week about how you can tend to lose that high gear. Bivol's got to try and take him up there and keep him there for as long as he can, but the more you throw, the more open you leave yourself. That is just a fact of boxing. You roll that dice in that split second as you're trying to hit the other guy, he can hit you. And bad things can happen if you get clipped by Artur Beterbiev, but if you want the glory, then you have to take the risk, and I think Bivol is more than happy to take the risk.
And that means a tremendous rematch. Could this be better than the first fight, man?
I think it will be. I think both of them will probably take more chances in this one.
And they know each other. It's that knowledge. They know. He knows what works. He knows what doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, at times when they doubted themselves, at times when, especially Bivol, he doubted what his pace, he doubted his engine. Now he knows he's going to leave it in the ring. Whereas Beterbiev, of course.
Sorry, I've been told to get in here, Johnny.
Of course, knows what he's going to do.
How you doing? I'm very well. How are yourself?
Okay, well, we've got Jermaine Genus with us. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you very much. Good to be here.
You're a big boxing fan, aren't you?
Yeah, I love boxing. Yeah, listen, don't get too in the details of it, but I love it. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, Derek's a good mate of mine, good friends of Anthony, so it's just like I'm always seem to be around it. But this is my first kind of like weigh-in. I said to him, he's not going to retire. I get it, the energy is just different. It's very different.
No, listen, we expect Derek to fight for another 40, 50 fights.
Yeah,
He's not going anywhere.
Totally,
don't worry about that. Yeah. Tell me about this Joe Parker Bakole fight. Has that one got you interested?
Well, again, I was talking to Derek about that whole thing of like preparing for a fight, and then it just gets flipped on its head, and the difficulties of that. And he said, look, it is tough. I think Joe Parker's off the back of obviously, a great win. Comes into a lot of confidence. Don't know too much about Bakole myself personally, apart from that he can bang. So it's going to be it's just going to be an interesting fight. The whole card just looks crazy, doesn't it? So I'm just looking forward to it.
How are you finding Riyadh, by the way? I mean, the atmosphere. People have been saying stuff about the atmosphere. This was just the weigh-in. The atmosphere was pretty cool, right?
That's exactly what I was saying. I think that atmosphere, you can just see the intensity in each fight. Just going like that as the weight divisions were going up and up and up. You could see in their eyes it was like, now this is business now. And I think that these kind of events and moments are great for the fans, just to kind of get that feel, get that sense of what's going to happen tomorrow night. I can't wait. I'm like talking too much. I'm that excited.
You are all of us.
But this is what Riyadh season does. Fan bases from sportsmen and women from all sports.
Yeah.
The average man on the street, it's got your attention. It's got you. There's a story that you've got hooked on.
Yeah.
Now this is the story, and so that's why it's just so different.
It's always seemed to me that there's a real connection between fighters and footballers. Yeah. All athletes have a lot of respect for fighters, but I think footballers particularly. Is that because you all tend to come from not the same background, but similar backgrounds?
100%. I think we connect on that level, you know, and you understand what it's like to climb the mountain. I think to kind of get to that elite level in any sport, you have to have gone through some stuff, some really tough times, some dark times, some times alone where, you know, you're battling with yourself a lot. I was always fortunate to be in teams where in those really tough moments in games, I was able to kind of look at my teammates and you would drag each other through. I think the beauty of this sport is there's nowhere to go. You're literally staring in the mirror and you're battling with yourself.
It's only 3 o'clock in the morning when you're running in the streets in the rain. That's the hardest bit.
Yeah, you've done it, and you know what it's like to climb the mountain. I just think there's so much respect between footballers and boxers, and again, kind of like the talent that's on show right now within boxing. It's just so exciting.
100%. Well said. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Jermaine, we're going to let you go. Great
Thank you very much. Cheers.
They might need a stand-in, you know, for...
Yeah? You're too good, mate. You're too good. Thanks for having me.
Well, I told you that all the stars are in town. Jermaine Genius joining us. I can see plenty of stars around here. I don't know who they're going to bring us next. I can see Crawford knocking about. There's it's that kind of fight, right, where all the best fighters in the world, they want to be here. And Jermaine Genius wants to be here as well. Everyone wants to be here.
Well, game recognises game, doesn't it? You know, Usyk touchdown earlier on. Roberto Duran's around. Bernard Hopkins, of course, we spoke to the other day. There'll be more coming in as well. Anthony Joshua's going to be here because people want to see fights like this. And I've been saying it for the last few months since the build-up to the first fight. This would not have happened if we weren't in the boxing revolution we're in at the minute without Riyadh season, because commercially, business-wise, Johnny, it just could never have paid for itself. Beterbiev against Bivol. Nobody would have been able to put it on. We wouldn't have seen it, and now we're seeing it twice.
This is why Riyadh season is such a game changer. You've got all walks of life, all sportsmen and women getting involved in it. I saw Lennox Lewis walk down there earlier on. He's probably flown in from Jamaica just to watch this. Lennox goes nowhere, but our sport, with that injection, with that passion from a fan like Turkey, he's saying, I want to see what you want to see, which is a brilliant move.
Well, this is a brilliant move because our stream just got a whole lot more delicious. Mr. Derek Chisora, how are you?
What is this? What channel is this?
This is on every channel you can dream of, apart from yours.
Is it Riyadh season?
Riyadh season, TNT, Sky.
You're going to try and sell a message to Turkey, aren't you?
No. I think you guys are running on a low budget because your TV is not 3D. Because you're running on a small, low budget right now. You know, on the other side, I could see my teeth. Here, they look like they're dirty, but they're not. So I'm wondering who's running
That's a rental.
Yeah, you're running. You're giving us some cheap stuff, but it's okay.
Derek, you look great. I've actually got a bone to pick with you.
Go, what is it?
Ahead of your last fight in the UK, I was doing all these press conferences. I was saying it's his last one in the UK, make sure you come. And then at the post-fight presser, you said, yeah, we'll be coming back to London. What's going on?
Deception. You know what deception is? You tell people what they want to hear, but at the same time, they're doing what you want them to do. So life is about deception. But good deception is good. Because I said the last dance, Manchester was beautiful, and when I felt Manchester so beautiful, I could hear the London crowd say, you know what, we're missing out, we want one more. So I decided to take it to London, but I want Tottenham Football Stadium.
Okay.
So I wanted to come to London. I wanted to be big. It would be a big celebration. Remember that. So that's what we're going to aim for, a big celebration. What day yet? We don't know yet. Who we're going to fight yet? We don't know yet. Out of the 3 I put up on in the camp, on the post and the ring. But we don't know. But we'll see.
Can I suggest an opponent for you? I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and what about Wilder? He wants to keep fighting, Derek. He's a massive name. What about Wilder? On current form, you would be the favourite in that fight.
Yeah, but I don't want an easy fight. I want a hard fight. I want to wake up in the morning and train. When you fight easy fights, you don't train. There's no fear factor. I want a harder fight. I want to wake up in the morning and train and do what I need to do. I don't want to cheat. My numbers, I want them to get bigger. So I want a harder fight.
Well, let's bring in a man who probably knows a thing or two about putting on big fights. Derek wants another big one, Frank.
He's going to get another big one, the big 5-0. That's what it's all about, wasn't it?
That is it.
And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to deliver the big 5-0 for him.
Absolutely can't wait for it. I mean, I picked a bit of a bone with him because I was doing all these press conferences about his last fight in the UK. It wasn't, was it?
Well, you weren't telling the truth again.
No one told me.
It'll be a big one. We're working on something. We're going to sit down in the next couple of weeks and we're going to get it over the line. Everyone's going to love it.
Fantastic stuff. Can't wait for that. Listen, this fight that's emerged at 24 hours' notice, Bakole, Parker. What are you thinking on this, Derek?
As I said, if you get a phone call from the Kingdom of Saudi, it don't matter if you're retired for 10 years. If the numbers are the right numbers on the checkbook, even Johnny will come out of retirement. It don't matter who you are. You're going to get on the plane from Hong Kong or Australia. You're going to get here and you're going to give it all your best. You know, instead of missing one cutout because somebody didn't train, Martin Bakole is a warrior, and I have enough respect to my brother for taking this big step up. You know, he hasn't trained for a while. We have to understand that. He's going to be overweight, but I believe round 1, 2, 3 going to be hard for him, and then afterwards he's going to get into the groove and he's going to knock Joseph Parker around.
It all happened pretty quick yesterday, Frank, didn't it? Things were turned around very rapidly.
Daniel weren't feeling good. He was given some medication and told to wait overnight, and he didn't feel any better. And the border control doctor see him, and immediately he said he can't fight. He was absolutely gutted. So much so he even said, why did we call the doctor? But, you know, this is boxing. This is at the highest level. You can't give guys going into fights, at this significant fights like this, if they're not right. Can't do it. Because you don't get another option. How many times have we spoke to fighters after fights say, oh, I went into that fight with a bad hand or my leg hurt? It's irrelevant.
I've seen it.
It's irrelevant.
So many times.
You can't. It means nothing to me. That I want to know before. Live to fight another day. That's the most important thing. And what's happened with him now with Daniel? He'll go away, get himself fit, and he'll be out again in 3 months' time, and we'll work out who that's going to be. And in the meantime, we've got to fight a very, very, very competitive and intriguing fight tomorrow. See, I'm not a big believer yet of Bakole, because I look at his resume, I look at his record, and there's nothing that sticks out except for Gerald Anderson.
Anderson.
And Gerald Anderson, I've got to be honest, I was never a big fan of anyway, and maybe he took the fight too soon. So we're going to see what he's about now, because he's in with a former world champion who's on a good roll and is in great condition. Although he's not trained for him, but he's in great nick and great condition. And I think that Joe Parker will come through this fight.
What about the warrior in Joe Parker here, that he didn't care who he was going to fight? He was just ready to go.
We had a list of fighters we talked about, and that's the one he asked for, which I was a bit surprised, to be quite honest. But then I sort of stood back and I thought, hang on a minute, I'm getting carried away with, I want to see this guy do it now. I want to see, because how many people in the boxing, have really seen much of Bakole?
None.
So let's see what he's about now. The monster, the so-called avoided fighter, well, he's not being avoided by Joe Parker. Joe Parker wants to get in and beat his ass, and that's where we're at now. We've got a great, great fight on paper, which I think will translate into a really, really quality event.
Listen, Frank, another great fight on paper. Alexander Usyk has said to Ring Magazine this afternoon he wants to fight Daniel Dubois. What are your thoughts?
Done.
Okay.
Done.
Great news, Alexander Usyk. This fight is done.
Where are you, Alex? Tell me where he is. I'll go and take the contract there now.
You're going to see him. Yeah. Derek, you've seen Daniel get better. You've seen his rise. Yes. Daniel against Usyk, got a good chance. What do you think?
He's got a good chance because now he's doing the right things. Do you understand? I mean, like when he boxed Baby Miller, people wrote him off. And in that corner in the last couple of rounds, he nearly quit. And then we egged him on, he came out. He boxed Hrgovic, people wrote him off. He came out. He went with AJ, people wrote him off. I wrote him off with AJ, big time. Prove me wrong, he was on point. So I think Daniel, Triple D, everybody should be scared of him right now. Because he's not playing.
if those two fight each other, given the three names you gave us in the ring the other night, that leaves you with Joshua, doesn't it?
For now, we don't know. Yeah, listen, we'll see.
That was like a checkmate there, Andy.
We'll see. But you know what? All I'm saying is I just want to entertain the British public. Going to give them a number big 50, a big one. And I don't know what Frank's got, but he hasn't told me yet. But I'll find out after this big weekend anyway.
Brilliant stuff. A final word on the main event, Beterbiev Bivol. What a fight, Frank.
Well, look, it's a great fight the first time round, especially for me, you know, as a neutral, sitting there, be able to watch it in comfort and not sort of have it be invested in any of the boxers, invested in boxing in watching it. It's a fabulous fight, and I genuinely feel that they know each other really well, but I feel the first round will be the 13th round of the last fight. Because if I was Beterbiev, it's a bit like when Tyson had the first fight against Wilder. The second fight, he did what was necessary and took, you know, having what he learnt in that fight, took it straight into round one. And if he can do that, then he can. I think he could be in a position where he may even stop him.
I can't wait to find out. Thank you so much, Frank. Thank you, Derek.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andy Clark, and thank you for tuning in. Listen, it's great news. The countdown is nearly over. We will reach tomorrow night the last crescendo.